Metropolitan listeners, here we are, another little podcast, and we're continuing a few episodes with Raoul Paul, who's the founder and MD of CargoHub. Now, just before we start, there's a little tip from Raoul. Anybody who's interested in watching something that's a little bit eye-opening and thought-provoking, he's given a lovely little tip to myself and Salem: Shopping Conspiracy on Netflix. Definite worth watching. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that before we kick in with your next episode, Raoul?
Now we all had a long chat about that, but just quickly, the shopping conspiracy is about the impact of shopping and the methodology of influencing consumers, and the impact all the consuming has on sustainability. And it's really an eye-opener to see and learn what is behind all the consuming, and in the end, how we as a society, as a world, need to cope with all the waste which is being not produced, but as a result when things are being bought, the packaging and products which cannot be used at a certain moment in time. So how to deal with the problem of processing the waste. So it's really an eye-opener.
Yeah, it's a bit of a paradox, isn't it, really? Everybody's talking about what they're doing, yet they're adding more by being more successful. They're adding more to the fire or more to the problem.
Exactly. So, exactly.
Yeah, big issue, just like some of the other obvious issues in our business as well. And it's all about, being as productive and efficient as possible without adding to the problems. Now, without further ado, we went through some of your products, specifically focusing on the RFS and CDM and claims, etc. Now, you've also got one on QMS. So do you want us to give us a little bit of insight into the QMS?
Definitely. So, as we already mentioned, we're trying to add value to the air cargo product to make it more sustainable. And to make things more sustainable, one of the most important things, which is a part of the air cargo transportation, is to make sure that the transport can be executed in time. So the speed of air cargo transportation is important, but also the compliance aspect, the safety and security aspect.
Yeah.
So in order to maintain the high level of performance of executing the contract of carriage, the transport, and also to ensure that compliance remains on the highest level possible, the quality management steps in. And from our experience with all the companies and people we're talking with who are trying to comply to the aspect of quality assurance and compliance, there are still a lot we believe to provide, to add to the industry. So we can execute this part of the process more easy, more simple, in a more holistic, from a more holistic point of view.
Yeah.
So what we're doing really adds value to the future, to the nearby future, because again, executing a root cause investigation and sending over a corrective action plan without actually making sure that you're able to implement and to evaluate the effectiveness of what we have done, so the risk and the quality will indeed increase in the nearby future. Those are two different things, and we're really trying to add something in that area.
Yeah, I agree, and I think something that's still hanging around and it gives in my opinion, it gives a bad smell, is when there's so many people who are dealing with issues and findings, and whether it's audits or whether it's CAPAs or whatever. And then there's a simplistic system or a system in place that allows one party to record it and almost the same party to say that it's been resolved without validation of what the actions were. And more importantly, then somebody else verifying that the actions taken really are having an impact on the core problem or the root cause. And the game of displaying percentages and successes, and when it's not real, is crazy, in my opinion. I don't understand why people don't look at it more deeper and say, well, hold on a second, this happened last month, this happened last week. Why does it keep happening, And then just to be told that, we've cleared 60 or 70% of the total findings without knowing whether the remaining findings are the actual critical ones. It's, it's a little bit of an anomaly, it's crazy.
Yeah, but at the same time, the question is, why are we all, or yeah, why are we busy with trying to add more quality in the process by complying to IATA, ISAGO, or ISO, or all those compliance frameworks, but at the same time learning that the effectiveness of what we're doing is still far behind acceptable levels. And what we believe is that the reason for that is, first of all, that it's being mandated. So if we're dealing with each other, I'm an airline, you're a ground handler, and something went wrong, then I will ask you, Chris, I need a CAPA report. So basically, you're going to provide me with a report because it's mandated by me. And if you're not complying with it, maybe you lose me as a customer. So it's about making sure that you're satisfying me to provide the report. So that's one. So it really needs to be done from a quality-driven continuous improvement program perspective in order to make it work. So that's one. And the second thing is, I believe that based on what we are seeing and experiencing is that if it's a large organization, then finding the proper tools to manage all these things which are going on left, right, people are just losing track on all those incidents from a process perspective. So we believe that all these things needs to be approached from a decent process perspective in order to make sure that you're not only able to execute and comply with the requirements of your customers or certifications, but also to make sure that you're able to control whatever you have done and to actually learn from it and to move forward in the next step. So basically to use the data to set the proper corrective action plans, to learn from it, to evaluate, and then in the end being able to say, from your perspective as my vendor, this is what we have done, this is how we have improved the quality of the process, and we can guarantee you now that things are in more control. So the quality of the air cargo product in the end, as a result, has improved. So also from going back to the movie where we were talking about a little bit, this is about adding the real sustainability to the process, not just for me as a company, but to what we are doing with all of us, handler, trucking company, forwarder, working together as one to execute the contract of carriage, to improve the quality of the air cargo product, and therefore, in the end, give the shipper a much more higher customer experience.
Yeah, no, I
that's how we should deal with it. But it's a challenge. I'm not saying things are easy. So don't get me wrong. It's a challenge, but being involved in this area and really trying to think on how to get there and to offer the right tools to potential customers and clients who are using our solutions. That's the drive behind it, I would say.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's also trying to keep it as structured, but also as simple as possible so that the user understands the reason why they're using it, not that they're told what to use.
But also from a technology perspective, and I can imagine why also companies who are offering these kind of solutions are struggling with it, because the challenge of offering a tool which is simple to use for a process which might become or might be quite complex, to be honest, that's always the challenge. And before you know it, from a technical perspective, you're engineering all the stuff people need to execute their job. But if you're going to log into the application, then you're getting lost about all the tools which are there, and you just don't know how to operate it anymore. And we need to understand that if you really want to incorporate quality assurance, so continuous improvement within the organization itself, then it needs to be adopted with a lot of people who are on a different level than maybe you and me, who are able to operate a specific application in detail because we know everything about it. And that's I believe the challenge about it.
Yeah, and that's why, all of the advancement and all of the effort, people like yourselves are putting in, if it's not incorporated into how the people will receive it, use it, and engage in it, it just adds more burden.
yeah, then it's a struggle, and as a result, the quality level of certain organizations might drop if the quality manager, the compliance manager, and the person who knows everything about it is sick, left their job or whatever, and then yeah, you can start all over again because nobody knows.
Unless it's camouflaged with creating creative reporting.
Yeah, for example, for
Yeah,
example, yeah.
which doesn't do any good either. Right now, as far as people wanting to get involved in any of your products, etc., how do they get in touch with you?
Um, they can reach out by email, or they can maybe reach out to you, and you can share the contact details. Maybe that's easier than mentioning my email address right now. Um, and obviously our website, we have a contact link on the website. It's www.cargohub.nl. And
Yep.
if
Well,
people,
what we'll do, Raoul, is we will include both your contact address and website, etc., when we put the posts out. So
great,
hopefully people will get in touch.
hope
From
so.
my experience, it's it's everything that I've gone through with you. I think is very. I was going to say simplistic, but it's very easy to use. It's very direct, and it hits the point that anybody that's been in the business for long enough knows is a real touch point of concern. So, well done
Yeah,
you. I think it's great and easy to add on. So it's, off the shelf in the kitchen, and then see whether people enjoy the meal. So
yeah.
wishing you great success with that, sir. And we're going to have another little session very shortly on ULD.
Thank you so much.